devastated. Camilla's brutal move takes leaf out of Meghan's book with new podcast appearance. Camilla, Duchess of Cornwall, will appear as a special guest on a new Commonwealth-themed podcast, it has been announced, following in the footsteps of her stepdaughter-in-law, Meghan Markle. The first episode of the Commonwealth Poetry podcast, hosted by award-winning podcaster Giles Brandreth and his daughter Afra, can be broadcast from today, June 12th, and it features appearances from Camilla, Duchess of Cornwall, and Dame Joanna Lumley. The podcast is set to air every fortnight for the next 2 years, and it will take a closer look at the poetry, heritage and people of each of the 54 Commonwealth countries. Mr. Brandreth, who has written books on the royal family, said it was an absolute treat to have Camilla join him for his first podcast episode. He told PA, curiously, "Even though I'm a seasoned podcaster and broadcaster, I was still a little bit nervous. But honestly, it couldn't have been easier. She's wonderfully relaxed on it. For us, recording the podcast, it was fascinating because you don't often hear somebody like her talking at length. But she was a natural, and even though we edited it down to about 40 minutes, we had about an hour of chit-chat." The first episode will focus on Rwanda, the nation Camilla and Charles will be visiting for the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting later this month. The podcast was recorded in the garden room of Charles and Camilla's official London residence of Clarence House, and Camilla has recounted her travels around the Commonwealth for the audio programme. The podcast is being produced by staff and students from the University of Chester, which counts Dame Joanna, Mr. Brandreth and the Duchess of Cornwall among its honorary graduates. Camilla's venture into the world of podcasts can be seen to take a leaf out of Meghan Markle's book, with the Duchess of Sussex and her husband Prince Harry signing a deal with audio giant Spotify following their exit from the royal family in 2020. Meghan and Harry have so far only launched one Archie audio holiday special in 2020, but Meghan's new podcast Archie is expected to launch later this year. The Duchess teased her new podcast in a trailer back in March and said that it would dissect, explore, and subvert the labels associated with women. Meghan said in the clip, "This is how we talk about women, the words that raise our girls, and how the media reflects women back to us. But where do these stereotypes come from? And how do they keep showing up and defining our lives?" She added, "This is Archetypes, the podcast where we dissect, explore, and subvert the labels that try to hold women back. I'll have conversations with women who know all too well how these typecasts shape our narratives. And I'll talk to historians to understand how we even got here in the first place." The Duchess of Cornwall is not the first royal to have guest-starred in a podcast episode recently. Prince William recently took part in the Apple Fitness Plus initiative, Time to Walk, where he spoke about the importance of mental fitness and shared some family anecdotes. Prince Harry also appeared on Dax Shepard's Armchair Expert podcast to discuss a range of topics, including approaching mental health issues. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle were not more visible at the Queen's Platinum Jubilee celebrations, as they knew they wouldn't have centre stage seats, a royal expert has said. They were sat in the second row of the cathedral and across the aisle from Prince William and his wife Kate, with the couples not acknowledging each other or exchanging eye contact. Apart from being glimpsed at Trooping the Colour last Thursday, Harry and Meghan were not seen at any other royals events and even left to travel back home to California before Sunday's Jubilee pageant ended. And according to expert and royal editor of Vanity Fair, Katie Nicholl, this could have been because they knew they would have front row seats in the royal box for the pageant.